morning, and welcome to the town of Clifton Park's Veterans Day ceremony. Clifton Park thanks all of our veterans who have selflessly served our country and community. I'd like to start our ceremony by asking the Clifton Park Half Moon VW Post 1498 to post the colors. I'd like to now ask Boy Scout Troop 246 to lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Our national anthem will now be performed by Miss Katie Lee.
Twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave.
Thank you so much, Katie. That was beautiful. How about a round of applause for Katie? Thank you so much. So, as we begin the ceremony today, we had originally, we're not intending to host the ceremony this year because of COVID and limits on gatherings. However, it was decided by our community at large that it would be appropriate, necessary to remember our veterans and celebrate their service. So we are broadcasting this ceremony on Facebook Live. It will be available for people to view after the ceremony as well. So I want to thank all of you for being here. And we have veterans here today who have served over generations, dating back to World War II and the Battle of the Bulge. Just recently, I had the privilege to welcome over 60 new recruits of Marines right here on the Common as they conducted workouts. We have a very good relationship with all of the local recruiting agencies from all of our armed forces, and it was another way for us to assist them. And it was great to see so many young recruits coming forward to serve this country. It was a vivid display of the heart and soul of a nation. And seeing that next generation stepping forward to serve and preserve our freedoms was truly a heartwarming day for me, and I'm sure everybody that witnessed them working out, a simple day of working out here on the Common. The freedoms we enjoy as Americans must be earned. They must be protected with every fiber of our being. Our resolve must never waver or fail. And it is that resolve that will ensure that we remain the United States of America that we know and love today. And that is one of freedom, equality, and opportunity. I want to now introduce people that are here today, and we have many, so I'm just going to go through names and the organization in which they represent. From the town, we have Linda Wallowit, Tony Morelli from our town board, Dan Bull, Highway Superintendent, myself, Clifton Park Supervisor Phil Barrett. From the Elks, Exalted Ruler Bill Tierney, Dan Mathias, Bob Lumpkins, and Alan Atwell, who's representing the Elks, but also representing himself, and we're going to hear from Al very soon. Our VFW Color Guard, Commander David Brinkmuller. David, thank you. Brett Horlacher, Pat Festa, John Hecker, Carl Bernhardt, and Paul Toomey. I want to thank all of those gentlemen for being here today and serving as our color guard. We will later in the program hear from a representative from the American Legion who will be playing taps. His name is Staff Evans. Staff, thank you for being here as well. We had a very nice call yesterday from someone that is very well known in our community, somebody I've known for a long time, and truly a tremendous family in the town of Clifton Park. Her name is Claudia Carroll, and she teaches at the St. Gregory School. And she had a presentation to make today, some beautiful thank you cards from her, where is, oh, there she is. Come on over, Claudia. Claudia's students have some wonderful thank you cards for our veterans, and I'm going to have Claudia talk to you a little bit about that. Thank you.
Thank you, Phil, and thank you to everyone who's here this morning. What a wonderful, beautiful tribute to our veterans and to those who have served our country and who we all pray for every day in our classrooms. On behalf of St. Gregory School, the lower school, which is 3-year-olds all the way through 4th grade, made cards and letters, heartfelt letters, all different, even from the little hand printing and thumb printing that they did, all the way up to the 4th graders writing heartfelt letters. So on behalf of the school, thank you all for everything you've done, and we're so proud to hand these over. Thank you so much for getting us to the service anyway. Thank you.
And thank you to Claudia Carroll, St. Gregory School, and all the students very much. We'll put up some pictures later of those cards. And I want to thank David Alexander of the Elks for accepting those cards on behalf of the Elks in the town. And we'll enjoy those very nice messages. Next up, we'd like to hear from Mr. Alan Atwell. Mr. Atwell is somebody that has been a go-to person for the town of Clifton Park in any matter dealing with veterans. He is somebody that has served as our chairman of our Emergency Services Advisory Board for many years and has served the town in many different capacities as a volunteer. The list is very long. His service to his country started as a very young man when he enlisted fought in World War II, and was present at the Battle of the Bulge, something not too many people in our country or the world can state. I can't imagine what Mr. Atwell and his fellow service members went through during that incredible time in our history in a land far, far away. But the challenges that he faced, I'm sure he has used as inspiration throughout his life as he has continued his life of service. And I just want to personally, again, extend my thanks on behalf of the town of Clifton Park to Mr. Atwell for everything that he's done. And I look very, very much forward to hearing from him today. Mr. Atwell.
Armistice Day, November 11th, 11 a.m., 1918. Commemorates the armistice signing by the Allies in Germany. This was called the ending of the Great War, where more than 15 million people died, plus numerous wounded and those that were gassed. The armistice, I looked it up, and this is a truce, and looking up truce as an agreement to end fighting. This is referred to as a Great War to end all wars. Needless to say, this myth was shattered 23 years later on December 7th, 1941. I was listening to the Philco radio, and I thought, uh-oh, this is not good. I was only 16, but I realized that if our country was attacked, I was going to be involved someplace, somewheres, doing something. The day after my 18th birthday, I went to all the recruiting offices in Elmira, because that's what young men and older boys did at that time. Our country had been attacked, and we were going to defend it. For some reason, they were not taking enlistments, but they said if I'd go to the draft board, possibly they could help me out, and they certainly did. Within a week's time, I had an official invitation. Took my basic training, and I remember June 6th, 1942, I was in Champaign, Mississippi, on a rifle range. There were hundreds of us shooting, and all of a sudden it became just as quiet. D-Day, our troops had landed on the coast of France. It was not going well. Casualties were running high, and we were being trained as replacements. Training became very serious after that. I went overseas on the Mauritania, which at that time was a French liner, second to the Queen Mary in size. We were so fast that we went by ourselves in a convoy around the seas for a couple of days, and in the evening we would be able to ship going back. This is the captain speaking. We've made contact with 3 German submarines, and we're taking evasive action. Thank goodness they took evasive action. Somebody else would be here this morning. I landed on the southwest coast of England, crossed that at night in a rainstorm. The following morning I boarded a small French ship and we were taken to the coast of France. I waded ashore on Omaha Beach in 44, went up to replacement depots, and assigned to Company B of the 28th Division. It was a quiet sector. We were entrenched in the backside of a hill. We couldn't see the enemy, but at night, guard duty, your mind can do strange things when you're looking out, not knowing what is there. I did not know it at the time, but each side would have forward observers. There'd be a man stationed in the front of the line on each side observing the enemy for any activity. Again, we were down over the back of the hill, so they couldn't see our position, but they could see in back of us. Buddy and I were ordered back to battalion headquarters, which was a mile or so in the back of the line, and we were pussyfooting across this open field in broad daylight. Shoot! An 88 shell hit just ahead of us. Oh, we didn't know. We got our attention, but we didn't pay much. Shoot! Well, we'd only been on the line a short time, but a long and a short, somebody's got their eye on you, and that third shell is going to be in your pocket. I'm sure you've seen the cartoons, the characters where they're running all over the screen. Well, that third shell never came in, but that was my baptism of fire, and a 19-year-old grew up in a hurry. Armistice Day was entertained as such until June 1st of 1954, when veteran organizations had gotten together and wanted it created to a Veterans Day. And that is what we've celebrated since. 102 years later, here we are. Armistice Veterans Day in Clifton Park. I might be the oldest living veteran in Clifton Park, possibly in the town, but I humbly represent all the men and women who stepped forth to protect our country with patriotism, sacrifice, and willingness to protect our country and keep it what it is today. Looking at documentaries and reading, we very well could be sprechen Sie Deutsch today. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Atwell. Just truly inspiring words and a first-hand account of a dangerous time and a life well lived, and we can only thank you. So thank you. I'd also like to thank Chris Gersey, who's Scout leader with Troop 246, and the young men who led the Pledge of Allegiance. I want to thank you. You too are part of the next generation of leaders and people that will serve our country and serve our community. Next up, I'd like to ask our keynote speaker to come forward. His name is William Tierney. Bill is the exalted ruler of the Clifton Park Elks, as well as a proud Vietnam veteran. Bill?
Alan, thank you. This is basically a poem, I Am a Veteran, by Andrea Kristen. You may not know me the first time we meet. I am just another you see on the street, but I am the reason you walk and breathe free. I am the reason for your liberty. I am a veteran. I work in the local factory all day. I own the restaurant just down the way. I sell you insurance. I start your IV. I've got the best looking grandkids you'll ever see. Those are mine. I'm your grocer, your banker, your children's school teacher. I'm your plumber, your barber, your family's preacher. But there's part of me you don't know very well. Just listen a moment. I have a story to tell. I'm a veteran. I joined the service while still in my teens. I traded my prom dress for camouflage greens. I'm the first in my family to do something like this. I followed my father like he followed his, defying my fears and hiding my doubt. I married my sweetheart before I shipped out. I missed Christmas, then Easter, the birth of my son, but I knew I was doing what had to be done. I served on the battlefront. I served on the base. I bound up the wounded and begged for God's grace. I gave orders to fire. I followed commands. I marched into conflict in far distant lands. In the jungle, the desert, on mountains and shores, in bunkers and tents, on dank earthen floors. While I fought on the ground, in the air, on the sea. My family and friends were the land of the brave. I faced my demons in foxholes and caves. Then one dreaded day, without drummer or fight, I lost an arm. My buddy lost his life. I came home and moved on, but forever was changed. The perils of war in my memory remain. I don't really say much. I don't feel like I can, but I left home a child and came home a man. There are thousands like me, thousands more who are gone, but their legacy lives as time marches on. Like crosses and roads and names carved into you, remind us of what these brave souls had to do. I am part of a fellowship, a strong, mighty band of each man and each woman who has served this great land. And when old glory waves, I stand proud, I stand tall. I help keep her flying over you, over all. I am a veteran. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Bill. We also have a memorial wreath that we'd like to lay today. I want to thank the Clifton Park Elks for supplying that wreath. Now we will ask Mr. Alan Atwell, Mr. David Alexander from the Elks, and also the young men of Troop 246 to help with the wreath. May this beautiful wreath, just as this wonderful monument behind us, continue to ensure that we keep every veteran in our memory. I'd now like to ask Staff Evans of the American Legion. He's going to play taps for us.
Sorry, I missed that. Could you say it again, please?
So as we close the ceremony, I again want to thank everybody here for taking part in making this a special day. I want to thank our committee who worked to put this event together in a short period of time. Bill Tierney, who you heard from earlier, exalted ruler of the Elks. Dan Matthias from the Elks. David Alexander from the Elks as well. Matt Andrus, who's broadcasting this for us today and put the technology together. Thank you, Matt. And also Councilman Tony Morelli, Navy veteran. I want to thank him for his help as well. So as we leave here today, please always keep our veterans in your thoughts and prayers. Those that never made it home, those that shared their message today and throughout the year, and those that are currently serving stateside and across the world, and those that are just embarking on that journey of service for their country. At this time, I'd like to ask Clifton Park, VFW, to please retire the colors.
Color guard, face the flag. Reset. Pull. Order. Pull. Retire. Hold.
So thank you to all of our veterans here today, throughout Clifton Park, Saratoga County, and throughout our country. God bless each and every one of you. Have a wonderful day.